So everybody, this is JJ, the man you're looking at. And JJ is always well dressed. His hair is always on point, uh, always looking good. And he's even been on TV, but despite all that, he's not an actor. He's not a model. He's actually a wildly successful businessman. So JJ, if you could just give everybody a little bit about who you are, what is it that you do, and we'll go from there.
Well, yeah, look, I used to be in entertainment, right? For my whole life. So I was paid a lot of money to have to look good.
There we go.
It's sort of like, it's in my DNA. We don't show up unless I'm ready to be on TV.
There we go. There we go.
So, yeah, look, man, entertainment for a long time in front of people. People are my passion and purpose. You know, was in the entertainment business and was a speaker. And then, you know, when obviously the whole world stood still in 2020, you know, I built my PR agency, which really is just helping other people and companies get more exposure, get more attention, and position them accordingly so they can have the riches and the rewards.
Yeah. So really, in a way, it's like, hey, I built a career off of exposure, off of being in front of people. So you know what you're doing. It's like, hey, now I'm just flipping that around and I'm helping other people do the same thing.
Yeah, man, I said this to someone yesterday. Someone's like, wow, you haven't been this long. I said, the LLC is 2.5 years old, but the knowledge is 18 years old.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it by myself, understanding it. So it was like, now I just turn that tap on. And, you know, we're over in 10 countries right now, which is super cool.
That's crazy. So 10 countries, you're working around the world. And, you know, we've been working together. I see your client list growing, but like going back a little bit. So we've been working for like the last 6 months or so. We've known each other and we've been working most of that time. Where was it at as far as like, where was your business at before you started working with me? What did the day-to-day look like?
Man, I'm doing it all, run and gun, you know. But you know, I would say from your services, it was very much working with anyone who would obviously do any kind of writing, any kind of work. So I was just using sporadic group of people, and the problem is it's not consistent. You know, they're not reliable. You don't know if you're going to get the same work. It's very much like you take the work that comes with the service.
Right.
Which I was never happy with, but I was like, we got to do it. But every time it would go out, I'd always be worried if like, are the client going to say something? Do they know it's a writer from overseas that isn't speaking English as their first language?
Right.
So that's where I was at. Yeah. And at the end of the day, like Ace of Spades, I pride myself on being well-groomed, being well-dressed, having that edge, the professionalism. So the work has to match that.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise it's fake.
Yeah. So with me, like, where did that come in? Because I think this is interesting. Tell how we met and why you said, you know what, I'm going to work with Josh. I'd like to do this.
Which part? Like through after my coaching or before?
Yeah, before that, like when we first started working out, like what was it that, hey, so it was the interview. I was actually interviewing you for an article. And out of that, I think it may have been the same call, or maybe you called me back later. It was like, hey, Josh, I want to work with you. Like, what was it that stood out for you?
Well, I think the big thing for me was just the down to earth attitude. Attitude is very attractive to me in someone, because problems happen, but you are very easy to talk to. Like you were listening. You know, you knew how to bring out the story in me. And because that's what I sell, to experience it firsthand, I was like, man, this guy's good, you know, because I'm just so tired I'm tired of working with amateurs, you know, and most people out there are amateurs.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I don't get a good vibe with them. I'm like, no.
Vibes are everything. Yeah. I think you forced me to get on a FaceTime with you. We talked, we were hitting it off.
I tend to force people a lot. Hey, get on that FaceTime.
Right. Yeah. But I think, I agree with that. Like the energy has been great. And it's been a pleasure working with you too. But so fast forward from that, what would you say? So, hey, Josh, I'm going to work with you. What was your first win? Like we landed some clients, we did some stuff together. What would you say? Wow, this is a good
Speed. Your ability to pump out things quick and fast, and and adapt to change quick.
Right.
Because we all know, man, not every client wants to wait 2 weeks for a draft.
Yeah.
Not every client is easy to work with, and we're the providers, and we have to sometimes, mold to a client's needs sometimes. Welcome to the agency world. Welcome to service-driven businesses. So your ability to be understanding to move quick on things, speed was very attractive to me, because I'm tired of using someone else. They don't get back for 2 days.
Right.
Takes them 6 days. It's not right. So the process of pumping this out took 3 to 4 weeks.
Right.
So because
That's a long time.
Yeah. If I can get things out quick, it's going to bring in more business. It's going to bring more happiness to me. And I know, and you communicate it. You're quick to communicate. I cannot stand people who take days to get back to me. I'm like, not even a day. Like,
right.
I understand people are busy, and I understand people have got stuff on, but like, communicate, but if you're in a business and you're in a service business, we got to move quick, man.
Absolutely. And with that, so the speed, I'm helping you with your clients, that process is smooth for you. But outside of just that, how did that help you? How did that affect your business? How did that affect what you're doing with your business? Is it growing? Is it less stressful? What's that look like for you?
So, super confident that my team will get the job done, that I don't need to manage tasks. Hey, speak to Josh. I know I'm going to get a draft, but that's well written. I don't have to double check it. I don't have to be worried about you going to show up. That he, Josh or the other person decided to use a different writer. Consistent, efficient, fast, confidence. It literally took a huge amount of stress off me so I can focus on the next thing. It's like we were playing sport, like rugby. I just threw you the ball. He's going to score. Yeah. Hey, hold it right. So for me, man, for a business owner, working with you, when someone gives you the task, once you understand it, they don't need to check in and know, are you going to do it? Are you going to get the job done? Is it going to be good? And I think that's like ultimate professionalism at its finest.
Yeah, absolutely. For someone looking, what I like about working with you is some of the same thing. You're quick to act. I think we talk, the next day we're doing something, or even the next minute we're doing something, right? So you make decisions fast, you're confident, you know what you're doing. But for someone that maybe, hey, I like to slow down, take my time on a decision, think it through, someone like that, what would you say? Hey, maybe bringing a writing service or a writing team is going to help me, but I'm not sure. What would you say? Hey, this is why you need to do this. What would be the reason?
Well, I think the biggest reason is work with trusted people who've put runs on the board for years. Like Josh, you work with me, who's a global agency. You work with other coaches that, millions of dollars in revenue. You've done everything from writing copy on a social media post to writing novels. So at the end of the day, I know the way I approach life. I'm like a tsunami, right? Bam, come on in. Where the hell did that come from? It's from Australia. But the point of the story is, I understand everybody has their own way of making decisions, but make decisions based off results, based off that he's done the work, and then based off likability too. So I think for anyone listening, don't just believe the guy in the cowboy hat, Okay, I like the guy. Look at his work. Google him. Find out, is he actually all talk or is he the real deal? And that's what I sell every day. I sell trust. That's what PR is. It's trust.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You said something interesting. You said likability. Because that is, I've worked with people. It's hey, I know you're doing your job well and it's great, but we clash. There's different energies. What has it been like working with me, just as a person, not the business side, business aside? What's it been like?
Well, dude, I'll tell you something. For me, very rarely business and personal is different. Because we're in the service-based business, because it's very personal, because you're using your creativity to something. It's not you do a job and then you're this way. So for me, it's the attitude, dude. Your attitude, your light, You don't get caught up on the things that a lot of people get caught up on. And
Right.
for me, in a partnership, we don't have that kind of time. I don't
Right.
have someone, I don't want someone who can't control their emotions. Like, you know, hey, we were a little, like, I was behind this wanting to do this with you, right? People
Yep.
gonna be like, oh, that's it. Next week, change
Right.
it. Dude, are you, so do we want to get this done? Or do we want to keep pushing it off? So I think the way that you handle situations shows me a lot about your character, because at the end of the day, in the space we play, not everything's going to be 1 + 1 = 2.
Yeah.
It's just clients are going to not do the document. They're going to be late. Like, so how do you handle that? For me, is character, because everything else can be managed.